Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we're going to be doing a deep dive into the July premium spoilers, specifically one of my favorite products of this past month, which will be coming in my favorites and flops for this month, which is the By Reema eyeshadow and face palette, which I did use today for everything. Well, not everything. I didn't use it for foundation, but you guys know that. So if you want to see all of the details on this palette, what premium boxes might get it, what variations might be, make sure to keep on watching. Please don't forget to subscribe because I upload 3 times a week. That's going to be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want the details on the palette, a demo and tutorial on the eye look right here from this palette, and all of the info, stay tuned. Okay, so my base is done, and we're going to be jumping into the spoiler palette for July. Ooh, that looks gross and fingerprinty. This is the By Reema palette. This is the Sugar Daddy Hollywood Iconic Face Kit. Now, all the pictures I saw online are of a different By Reema palette, but we are going to talk about the formula, and the top row actually looks the same, so it's really just the eyeshadows that look different. But we're going to talk through the formula and how it applies, but I will put a picture right up here of the color that was leaked as a spoiler for the July BOXYCHARM box. It might be different, it might not be. Honestly, who knows? So I'm going to start. I did have a little bit of a cream contour on, but for bronzer, actually that looks right there, that little color, I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow instead. I'm going to take a soft brush and I'm going to dip into the white shade, which is meant to be an under eye setting powder or like a translucent brightening powder. And we're going to try that. Looking at the pan, it looked like it would be more of like a super bright true white, which I was actually a little bit afraid of. But it's very translucent, which is nice, because I'm taking this on my whole under eye just to brighten. And I definitely think it brightened a little bit. I'm going to take some of that basically everywhere I put concealer, just to brighten everything up a little bit, create some depth to the face. Then I am going to take the blush tone up here and use that for like a terracotta blush. I like it. It's definitely like a soft blush, but I'm okay with that. And because I did skip bronzer, I am going to grab an actual bronzer because that's more of a contour shade. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of bronzer around the perimeters of the face, and then we will jump into the palette for glow and eyeshadow. All right, next up we have highlight, and I'm going to be using the lighter of the 2 shades, and I'm going to grab a brush for that. I'm going to tap in and pick some up. Oh, wow. So I've used this before, but I don't remember it being quite so blinding. I was using a different brush at the time. That could be it. But that's really pretty. Like, I like the way, ooh. I like the way that it glides on and it's not accentuating any texture. So from like a highlight standpoint, it's looking nice. I am going to, though, take my sponge and just press that in around the orbital bone, just so that it is a little less stripy on the face. You guys know I like to look blinding, but I don't want it to look like there's a stripe of highlight. I like it kind of going into the skin. So I do like to take like a nice fluffier brush with that same highlight and really just pull it over the rest of the cheek just to diffuse it so like the shine doesn't stop, but the cheekbone is still highlighted. All right, I'm going to go prime my eyes, and then I'll be right back to jump into the shadows. All right, so I just primed my lids, and I did set the primer down with that same translucent white shade, which, as you'll see, is not looking super, super bright, but it's bright enough that I know I'm going to get some good color payoff. I am, however, going to take a little bit of a makeup fixing spray because I am noticing that I want the cheeks to look a little more flawless than they are. And I forgot to do that. And I don't want to do this whole video with the foundation and the highlighter not looking perfect when it honestly is performing really well. I mean, it's picking up a little texture over here, but like not as much as some of the like bad highlighters I've used, and about as much as the good ones, because I do have man skin. It is a little textured, it is a little porous. All right, I am going to jump into eyes, and I think I want to do How iconic. I'm going to do a purple smoky eye. I'm going to grab my brushes and bring them over here. All right, I'm going to start with this shade right here, the burgundy maroon shade, and I'm going to pick up a little bit on my brush. I always look for a mirror, and then I remember like palettes or mirrors too. And I'm just going to press that into the outer portion of the eye and just trace the outer crease. I'm not taking this into the whole crease. This is not a transition shade. This is actually going to be my depth. And I'm starting with it because I want to make sure that I have the intensity where I want it before I start blending this stuff out. And now that we have that base down, I'm going to go into a blending brush, and I'm actually going to take this shade up here, which is the contour tone, and I'm just going to lean my head back and blend up and into my crease. Next, going back into that first brush with no additional product, I'm just going to lightly trace the crease again, and this time taking the whole crease. Now that we've set that transition shade down, it'll help the color to not be so intense on the inner portion of the eye, because I really want that like cranberry tone to just be super vibrant out here. Back into that first brush, taking the light pink shade. I'm just going to blend the crease up one more time, just to soften it, because that pink is a little more of like a flesh tone, so it is a really good transition shade. I actually really like the way this is coming together. I almost want to keep it pink and not go into the purple. I think that means I'm going to do both, because that's how this works. I'm going to grab that's not the brush I want. I'm going to grab a lid shade packer brush, and I'm going to start with the pink, and I am going to pick it up and try it out dry first for you. I'm going to pull that across the inner portion of the lid. So it's definitely very soft and very ethereal. I'm going to spray it once, just to show you guys how it looks sprayed and wet. And then with it wet, definitely a little more reflective and a little more ethereal. But it's very pretty. I almost don't want to add the purple, which is weird because I love purple eyeshadow. Like, my favorite. Always. Alright, this is where this could all potentially go to shit. But I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to take a little bit of the purple tone on the opposite side of that first blending brush. And I'm going to take it right down close to the lash line and on the outer half of the eye. I actually really like that. I take it back. I'm not scared. I like it. Normally I don't like taking like a shimmer shade into the outer portion like this, but with this, it's blending super nicely into both the pink and the cranberry. So I'm getting that nice definition and that gentle, like, purple tone to the eye without it becoming, like, super muddy or super shiny. And then with a tiny bit more of the pink, I'm just going to blend over where that purple and that pink meet, just to make it a little bit softer. As always, one last hit with the blending brush. And I love the way that's starting to look. All right, I'm going to go off camera, throw on mascara, and maybe a lash, probably not a lash, but definitely mascara, a little liner in the waterline, and I'll be right back to finish up the lower lash line. All right, so mascara is on. I did put a little bit of a purple liner in my waterline, and jumping into a pencil brush with that same purple, I'm just going to set it down. Then on a slightly larger brush with the cranberry shade, I'm just going to lightly buff out the outer corner and connect it up here. And once there's little to nothing left on the brush, I will blend out the rest of that under eye. And to wrap this whole thing up, I'm going to take the same shade we used on the cheeks to highlight the inner corner. All right, I'm going to go throw on a quick brow, put on some lipstick, and I'll be right back to talk through all of the details. Okay, lips are on, brows are on, and that is the finished face. So, as you guys can see, I am obsessed with how this palette performs. Again, I did put up a picture. This, I don't know if this is one of the palettes that's coming, but it is the same formula, and the formula is beautiful. Like, even shimmers blending on top of mattes looks wonderful. So, if you're interested in playing around with this formula and you're interested in the palette that a picture I put up here, then that's going to be coming in the July box. I believe it is the premium box. Confirm. So it is the premium box where you're going to be getting one of these. Each of the palettes, the layout inside is identical. The only difference is that the colors down here are a little bit different, and it has like this really pretty green in it, so I'm very excited to play around. But that being said, the palette performs beautifully. I'm obsessed with the formula, and this can be found in your July Premium BOXYCHARM box. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.